does feel like they're riding a bit of a wave. I think going up against this NIP team, though, is going to be rough because clearly, just looking at the last few weeks of play, NIP has leveled up. Now, going to Gibraltar, which is getting played again here, again, a little bit of a rarity. We'll see how things go, but NIP looked pretty decent on Gibraltar last night, and we'll see what they do here as they roll it forward.
They're beyond the offensive side, and it'd be interesting to see if they could put an end to it early on. You were pointing out just before we were watching this map that this first point could be a little bit difficult to cap. We'll see if Dignitas have what it takes to really hold them back. Already, Numlock, look at his ult percentage.
Yeah, Numlock, 27%. That means his Fire Strike hit not one, not two, but about 3 people there. So it's a good opening there for Numlock, building it up. It does build up Zuppy, though, so there is a downside to early Fire Strikes that you have to deal with the nano boost. But here we go. Defense rolling right in, trying to get on NIP. NIP, though, it's a good disengage. We'll see if they can do a little bit more with it. Numlock on the Fraggy, 65 in favor of the defense, but this is risky right now for Dignitas. If this goes against them, it's going to be rough, but it does not. They get the kills they need, and they're going to hold with this aggressive defense.
Just following NIP all the way back. In fact, they're going to look for Zuppy as well. Look how far they chased that. You were pointing out when they were at the bottom of that maybe that was a dangerous fight, and they kept fighting all the way back around the corner. So just picking NIP up at really good intervals as well. So now the spawns, they have to wait for them. Numlock has his ult, Linksa has his ult as well. And you can see him setting up for the Blizzard here. Going to be jumping down, and there it is, already popping it out, trying to see if he could freeze Himsy, doing some significant damage, and following up as well with the Reaper in the back line, the Ice Wall to keep them back in. They're chasing down and looking for the kill on Lucio, and nearly getting it as well. The shield finally putting an end to Bromas here. He's going to be falling back in, and Fraggy, he got the nano boost, but he can't follow it up.
NIP, they do disengage. They're coming right back in, though. Numlock died for going that far in. NIP now coming back in. Bromas trying to put into it. Death Blossom on the way. Gets 1, gets 2. Bromas makes it a triple, and Dignitas coming right back. What a great back and forth between these two teams.
Man, this is interesting, and Mafu, I don't think he's going to make it out. He will be going down. You see how much the ice walls matter down there. Just being able to stop the opposing team from falling back in. And I think the fact that they had to use the nano boost comp on Fraggy, and they couldn't do anything about it. They had it up, but he had the shield up, and he felt like he couldn't engage. That was unfortunate.
Yeah, and again, look at all the work Linksa's doing. He's now about 20% away from another Blizzard. He has been controlling this game with his Mei play. It's definitely what gave Fitz the phase, and it's doing it now to NIP, so Linksa are doing well. Going to his next fight, they're going to have Soundbearer v Soundbearer to open this up. A lot is going to be dependent on Mafu to land a big graviton to set up Himsy for that whole log. And here we go, it's underway.
Great little jump in from Sappers there. He's hitting a lot of rockets right now. They need these kills on the NIP side. Fraggy picking up 1, and he's going to continue. Fraggy swinging that hammer. Going to be a triple kill for him, and now rockets on Mei mid-air. Finally, Sappers being allowed to get a little bit on the board here. He's going to go down to Link, so it's a nice shot, but I don't think it's going to be enough to keep NIP back.
That's one of the great things about Reinhardt is people look at Zarya combos, they think Pulse Bomb, they think Dragon Blade. Well, guess what? Just Reinhardt walking in and swinging his hammer, it's pretty darn effective as follow-up, as we just saw from Fraggy.
So they're going to get past the first stage here, NIP. I think most people were expecting that. Now see what they do in the hangout stage. I feel like Pharah could definitely be so aggressive here. Well, right into the shield, and then the sleep has to fall back. Definitely not the most exciting ult I've seen.
Zappos rushed that a little bit, but overall NIP is getting quite a bit of momentum right now. But here's the real X factor, Numlock. We know Numlock, the 3G Express himself, can get these big Earth Shatters off. And Dignitas moving forward, and they are going to be looking for this early in this fight. Bromas takes on Kindle, and here comes the Earth Shatter. Knocks down 2, sets things up. Zappos still firing right back right now.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, he's hitting so many grenades right now and just trying to stay alive. He's going to get almost down by the particle, but he actually gets that incredible shot. These rockets are really connecting for him, and even though he's halfway dead, he's still up top of the hangar, just firing down regular rockets, nothing special, but it's all connecting.
It's working out pretty well. He's definitely stopping Dignitas from setting up what they want, but we have the McCree coming out here from Bromas. Bromas applying pressure, and look at Numlock! Doesn't even care, it's a Pharah, makes Zappos shoot himself with his own rocket. Oh my goodness.
Only Dignitas are starting to get a little bit back into it here. Got them trapped in the corner. This hammer hitting everybody. Every swing is massive right now. Numlock wrecking them in that corner. Bromas and Artia there to help them out a little bit, but that was just you really don't want to be pinned in that corner of your NIP.
Numlocked might be broken. You take a look at it, he's still swinging his primary fire. He's nowhere near anyway. It's just like, I've just been doing it for the last 4 minutes. Why not keep it going? Well, Mafu, the ult bank for NIP is rather full right now. Graviton into Mirage, into Whole Hog, all the rest might be a thing. Dignitas though opening with a Graviton of their own, setting things up. Reinhardt keeping people well alive, but the Deadeye cracks through, takes down Fraggy and Mafu, and this is gonna buy even more time for Dignitas.
Oh, what a tragedy, because in the middle of that Saria ult, you see Suppe just, healing people, using the Bionade and everything to keep everyone alive, and then the shield goes down, and then the McCree ult coming through right away. That's a little bit of a shame.
Alrighty, well, NIP, their ult bank is still rather rich. They only have a minute left right now, Anders, so this fight is crucial. It is a must-win situation. They have the advantage. Early Earthshatter coming in from Numlock does set up for 1 kill and Kindle, and NIP down a player to start things off. Zappis following up on the barrage, though, takes down 2, but this is not decisive, as Himsy going to be trying to finish it up with a hook.
Well, that's going to be really important. They kind of need that right now. Himsy's still alive here, taking the fight close range. He's very low on health, but they're still going to get the kill on Ana, and now they're going to be pushing forward here. I actually love the play in that fight from Bromas. Just positionally speaking, he was actually behind the NIP's push as they came in, and they had to turn around and deal with him all the time, so it was really good job on him. Almost there, but not quite, with 20 seconds left, and Mafu and Sap is picking up 2 big kills there on Dignitas. They need his point, or it's going to be bust.
They are chaining the deaths that they need the chain. Himsy is getting pick after pick, and Fraggy just rolling along, swinging the hammer, picks up 2 more. And Dignitas a little bit discombobulated right now. This might be 2 extra chain kills. Both Reinhardts charge into each other, but Numlocked does not have the team support to stay alive.
They come out of that fight with nearly 3 ultimates up. Not going to be too much longer. The same is definitely not true for Dignitas. So there's a real chance I think they could push. Well, maybe not to the end, but it's going to be real close here.
It is going to be close. Mafu's going to have the Graviton up in a moment. And you take a look at the situation where both teams are drained on ult. That alone might be enough. Graviton, Earthshatter, done. Will that be the case? The Graviton's going to come in right now. Sets up the Reinhardt. Bomb goes in. Sets up for 2 kills. NIP on the attack. And Anders, they can keep chaining this and bring this right towards the end. Dignitas in a little bit of trouble.
They're doing such a great job holding on. Fraggy never used his hold, and now Suppe's got his, so we could be seeing another nano-boosted Fraggy here with the Earthshatter. I mean, what could they do, Dignitas? Now they're on it, and there comes the nano-boost up. It's not that hard to predict. Followed up with the Earthshatter. He's going to get the kill on Ana, and now it's looking really bad for Dignitas. They did such a good job holding, but the ults here at the end have just heavily favored NIP. He's still got the health for it, and they are fighting, pushing on here. Bromas coming in on the Tracer now. I'm not sure it's enough to keep anything alive right now. He can only live for so much longer, and it's going to be the end of it right now. This is not looking good for Dignitas.
It is not looking good indeed. This is one of the hardest points to defend with a stall towards the end. It's not impossible. We do have the Diva coming out, Soundbear coming out, and this is the chance. Reaper as Linkser moving in, pushing things back. NIP, they will be reinforcing in just one, but for Dignitas, even to buy this much space is a big deal because 5 seconds left right now, Anders. They must get on the cart. They cannot retreat, and Dignitas is ready to at least give this one more attempt.
Wow, they actually might have just done it there. The defensive matrix coming up, Himsy going down, Numlocked on this Diva, just buying so much space for his team. How do they come through? Finally, he's going to be out of the suit, and NIP are pushing through. Can he actually get enough charge here to resuit? It feels like he almost has to. He's going to be out of it. Artia pushing through, but not in time, and NIP going to win the first round. They were in overtime, so they used the entire clock there. But that was impressive. I thought they would get it the first time around. That Diva came out just at the right time.
The last stall coming out there from Dignitas was, as you say, truly impressive because it's one of those things where they were already down people, deaths were getting chained, just to come back up, buy enough time to at least give yourself a fighting chance at last fight. It wasn't great positioning. There's still a disadvantage, but to even make that opportunity at all was very, very gutsy coming from Dignitas, and they're in a great position as they roll into round number 2 in just a moment on Gibraltar.
That hangar stage really really bought a lot of time in favor of they burnt a lot of time off of NIP's clock there, Dignitas. So we'll see if they could do something similar here. Now they're going to be pushing in Dignitas. And if you look at the composition right now, we are going to be starting off with Tracer and Reaper, it seems, unless they swap it out. But what do you think about that?
Tracer Reaper, it is interesting coming out with that. Obviously, Bromos's Tracer has had really good moments, really bad moments. We'll see which one it is here. Lynx are starting out on the Reaper. It makes sense given how NIP runs defense here. I mean, you take a look at they are running Roadhog, Reinhardt, Zarya. You need something with extra oomph to cut through those tanks. So I think it's somewhat of a read here of how NIP likes running things on the defense. And for Bromos, you wouldn't think of Tracer as a tank killer per se, but once you get Pulse Bomb up, that Pulse Bomb more often than not, probably going to be heading right for Himsy.
Now, we're only seeing one main play, and when it was the first half of this, we were seeing both of them. So that means NIP could sort of maybe lock Dignitas in, but if they overextend, then Dignitas can't, you know, use the ice wall to keep them back. So there's going to be a slightly different fight, I think, going on in the underpass here instead of what it was in the first half. I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out, but definitely significantly more tank power on NIP, which is almost to be expected, right?
NIP, they're the team that loves running tanks. They were running heavy tanks before it was popular. They were running heavy tanks first in this meta, and wouldn't really expect anything less. But here we go. Both teams are underway here once more. Dignitas on the attack, and Bromos finds some trouble early on. The Ana pressure just pushing him back. Good play coming up by Zuppy.
Romas gonna be down the underpass trying to see if he could maybe just catch any support hero off. He's actually gonna go all the way in the back line. They know that he's back here somewhere, but they are staying very grouped, making it hard for him to be too aggressive. Don't want to be hooked just yet. They're doing a lot of damage. Now the fight's going to continue in the server room. Fraggy going to be going down, and Kennel is next. So this is looking great right now for Dignitas. What an impressive way to start a fight. NIP, what went wrong there?
It is beyond great. It's just one of those things where they lost someone early on in the fight, and it just snowballed from there. There was no craziness, just good mechanical play from Dignitas, outplaying NIP at every level. Himsy wasn't able to get the hook kills that he was looking for, and honestly, just a rough go. And the rougher thing here is look at the ults of Dignitas as they move forward. They are going to be ready to go as they go into this next stage. NIP, though, they do pick up Linkser early on, so they might have a chance of restabilizing here. I think Dignitas got a little bit over aggro.
Maybe just a little bit, and I'm wondering if they are going to try and swap out any heroes here in this hangar stage, because they don't have that much verticality. They got Linkser, who could sort of use the shadow step to get up to the high ground, but apart from that, you know, there's no Pharah in play, there's no Winston to jump in up there, so I'm wondering if that's going to cause Dignitas to change their minds at any point.
We'll just have to see. I think Dignitas, though, you take a look at this offense here, they are going to have almost every single ult up in just a moment. Talks again, Ground Touch is about to be online. RT are very close to Sound Bearer, so their ult bank is loaded. NIP, though, they can fire back. This could be an ult showdown. Mafu has the high ground with the Graviton at the ready. NIP could really turn the tables here in just a moment.
Not gonna get the hook in there, but the ult coming out, and look at Himsy. He's got the Overhog as well, gonna be jumping down that chain gun, just wrecking them right now, doing a lot of damage through the shield, and Numlock gonna be going down. Fraggy to follow it up, and NIP putting up a very good defense for the moment.
And that's exactly what they need to do there. Not only was it an ult showdown where both teams used a lot of ults and NIP came out on top, which is a huge swing in terms of time. It also means that they were able to save the Graviton and Earthshatter there, so they're not even down economy-wise for the next fight. They will have to deal with the sound barrier, but a good Graviton sound barrier oftentimes trade out, so Mafu still in good position here going into this next fight.
Absolutely, and you saw how they slept Artier in there, so he died, you know, after the fight was entirely over. That's just unfortunate as well for him. Right. Trying to push in a little bit alone right now, and that's a little bit dangerous on Reaper.
It is dangerous, and take a look at Mafu right now. He's in the back line. How's Graviton? Graviton comes out, deals the sound barrier, but Linkser into the back line. Death Blossom immediately eliminates Kittle. 3 kills here for Dignitas, and they're able to shrug off that Graviton. They move it forward, and NIP, it's looking like their hangar stage is about to fall.
Absolutely. Lynx said it was dangerous, but he just straight disagreed with that and went for it. Quite impressed, and I thought the Graviton Surge there would have done a lot more for Mafu. It looked like it was supposed to. Now they're going to be pushing in, and the ult economy right now for Dignitas is unreal. Only really Artier and Linkser are behind, but everybody else has got theirs in just a couple of seconds here. I think Nip are going to have, again, just sort of like it was the last time around, they're going to have a hard time holding here.
So they do have a switch up. Zappis is now at the Pharah, and they might even nano boost the Pharah, but no, they're going to go for Fraggy. Fraggy's going to roll right in, ends up baiting out the Graviton. Not the worst play there. They make the Graviton come out, and Himsy even gets on the Linkser. So NIP making something out of nothing here, able to get the early pickoff, and this could be successful.
We're also seeing Zappis on the Pharah once again now here at the final stage. See how that's going to be working out. Fraggy did get a kill on the enemy Zarya, so maybe that's going to help them out just a little bit. Bromos in the back line looking for some damage, but just not in a good position for it.
Oh, not in the least. And NIP, they fully restabilize. And Dignitas, I think they lost a window there where they early Graviton the deal with the Reinhardt, probably overcommitted on it, lost people early on, and Now, instead of having a whole bunch of ults to work with against an NIP squad that was drained, NIP has the ult advantage, and a little bit of a rough time for Dignitas.
Curious to see if the McCree on Bromas there is going to be shutting down Sappers at all. He's almost got the ultimate. He's in a good position. There it is, right across, and they can't really get him quick enough. They do sleep him, but he does a lot of damage to those shields. And we'll see if it's going to be enough for them to make their way through. They are pushing around the corner now. Fraggy coming through with the nano boost, swinging the hammer, but they're keeping him back there, just controlling him incredibly well.
But while he's doing that, while he's making distractions up, he was able to take out Archer in the back. Did quite a bit of damage there as Ana and NIP. Respawns are coming in. They're going to be able to restabilize this. And Dignitas once more must have back at Fraggy. No, he's going deep. Brings Numlock for a ride. Ends up taking him out. Very aggressive, but it pays off.
Back and forth fight here at the end, and it could go on for a while as Dignitas still have about 3 minutes left here. NIP did use all of their back, so if Dignitas make it through with even just a little bit of time left here, they're going to be in a very good position to take the first map right now. See if NIP can hold it. They have almost got the nano, but now they do nano boost with Fraggy here again. They can do it one more time.
All right, well, here we go. Drakeus moving in, still holding on to that now boost. Earth Shatter, though, from Fraggy in the party room as Reinhardt swings the hammer, takes down 2. Himsy at the other tank bomb, and you're just seeing these NIP tanks hammering and hooking their way to victory right now.
Really, really good stuff. But the one thing you could say about that fight is at least Dignitas has come up with quite a few ults in place. In fact, about to be all 6 of them. So now, I guess positioning for NIP becomes a really big, important question. If they misplace themselves in this next fight, they could get completely wrecked.
And this is calculated for Dignitas. They know what their victory condition is here. They're gonna use it. Oh my goodness, not like this. Linkser, the nano boost not working out because of a Reinhardt charge. That was brilliant by Fraggy to save his team.
Just a really long charge as well. He was being taken for a real ride then. They are going to try and clean up here in NIP and will be successful. That's such a great counter.
The funny thing is that Numlock is the one who has the nickname of 3G Express, but it's been Fraggy that has been on these incredibly long train rides the last few fights. Just brilliant charges coming out from him. Dignitas, though, they still have a minute 30. They still have an advantage. Look at that, Graviton pulls in 3. Here comes the fall through. Sound Bearer coming up, though, and a nano boost. Will it be enough? Brahmas gets the first kill on the Himsy. Earth Shatter coming in from Numlock, knocks down 3, sets his team up beautifully. This is going to be a team wipe from Dignitas and Anders. They are in the driver's seat as they roll to the point.
They don't just win the team fight, they still have that mean combo. They could do the Reba nano boost one more time, and it's going to have to be another great counter if they're going to try and survive this. Dignitas pushing on, still a minute left here. Mafu on, trying to see if he can save them. They put the Graviton Surge up, but there's almost no follow-up from the team. It's just a lone Graviton Surge. Finally, the rest of NIP come out the gates. Is it going to be enough? What a big triple coming out. Bromas taking down 3 on the McCree, and Himsy trying to stay alive in the front here, but he's being shot at from all angles. He's going to try and commit to it, get slept as well, making things worse.
The time alert was, in fact, high noon, but the defense is coming back up. Too many members of Dignitas died. They weren't able to deal with the stall, and now Anders, there is only 28 seconds left. This is truly dangerous here for Dignitas. I'm not even sure they're going to be able to get back and force overtime at this rate, because look at how NIP is keeping them this far back.
Very, very impressive. I actually thought a lot was lost as soon as they did that lone Graviton Surge, but somehow they brought their way back anyway. Now Toxic coming in here with the Pharah, trying to see if he can land some of these rockets here. He's been nano boosted as well, so should be doing quite a lot of damage. Just has to avoid the hook, otherwise things could get ugly, and he's playing against Himsy, so he never know, but he actually takes him out. Just turns around quickly, goes for a bit more. They are in overtime, and he falls. Is there anyone there? It's not gonna happen. Dignitas, they couldn't make it to the end, and NIP are gonna hold on.
That is incredible, and honestly, how many times do we just see the kill cam where it's just a person on Dignitas just having their life ended by Fraggy's hammer? That was a gem of a Reinhardt game, whether it just be good positioning for melee swings or taking key people on a ride. What a game coming out by Fraggy.
Absolutely impressive, and it looked like that could have gone either way, practically a coin flip at the end. I mean, very interesting. Now, if you are just joining us, then we do want you to go and download the Team Stream, the free app from the Bleacher Report, and follow the eSports stream for all the latest E-League and eSports news. Go and do that, whether you have Android or iOS. You can just easily find it on your preferred store. So one of the cool things about the last game, and it's sort of the cool thing about this tournament in general, is that
tales of Farah's demise have been greatly exaggerated. She is still a pick where she can come in, where teams aren't running a McCree, aren't running things that can easily shoot her, take to the skies, and make things very rough on the opposing team. You look at what Zappis was doing at points, and it was great. I mean, I'm just glad to see everyone's favorite Sky Queen still in this meta.
Yeah, I mean, especially this sequence that we're seeing right here. Also, because he's in such a confined space, you think that'd be the least preferable for the Pharah. This actually, I think, is one of the situations where, from that position, he does a lot of damage with the ult later on, and then they still can't quite follow it up. But yeah, I'm happy to see Pharah getting played a lot more. Love this hero.
And Farah's interesting too because of how good players are now, it's very difficult to get good barrages off. Your team has to set you up. They have to be prepared to say, give you a Zarya shield, and you have to be tricky with it. You have to try and come in from a flank, try and make it so people aren't looking for it, because Farah's, if you don't do all that, you can go for your ult and just immediately die. So it's a mark of a good Farah when you can go for ults and get that 2-3K kill.
Yeah, I definitely agree. What we haven't seen so much, what we did see in the NA group was the Mercy damage boosted Pharah. That was very fun to sort of get thrown back into that meta game just a little bit.
Yeah, the good old pharmacy combo, as it were. And that's actually part of why you don't see Mercy as much anymore, is that Mercy's best friend is Pharah. And when Pharah's more situational, it kind of makes Mercy a little bit more situational too.
Let's see how it's going to go. Don't know what the second map is yet. Of course, the losers get to pick it. That's how it works. So it doesn't go straight from sort of 1, 2, 3. You get to pick it, and that's a nice system, I feel like. Gives you a bit of a chance. It will be Numbani. Yes, our second map here between NIP and Dignitas. Who has the better chance on this map, you think?
Honestly, this has been a weird day in terms of predictions. You would think that NIP had a real hard time getting through Reunite at the end. But it's hard to say how much of that was NIP and how much of that was Reunited. I'm willing to give Reunited more credit for that than to say NIP was just weak on the last point. Certainly they could have played better, but I don't know if Dignitas can really replicate the magic formula that is Reunited on the Bonnie. So I think if you go off results, it's still a good pick for Dignitas to bring NIP to, but I don't know if it's actually going to work out as much as they wanted to.
Well, we are seeing Bromas still on the McCree for the moment. Zappis is on a Junkrat. Do you think that's going to last, or are we just being trolled early on?
Zappis on a Junkrat. On offense, I mean, we have seen it every now and then on Nambani. Nambani is the lab. It's where teams pull out the most ridiculous things, whether it be a Bastion, a Torbjorn, Junkrat at points where he's not used as often this meta. I don't know. I sort of look at the Junkrat here and say maybe, but probably not. And as I say that, he does, in fact, go to the Winston. So, and the reason why I go Winston here, it's really good for getting on the high ground and getting the defenders off of their perch.
I was ready for the Junkrat pick. I thought that would have been amazing, but not going to happen this time. Zappis instead, and he is taking the foreground here and already going to be jumping up, spotting out 4 people up there, so that's some good information.
Yep, he's going up. Was hoping that someone was up there, wasn't, but they're just going straight up the gut. No trickiness here from the NIP side, and Linkser deep dives a little bit too much. Is immediately punished by Himsy. 65 in favor of NIP, and they're just going to roll this forward. Dignitas already in dire straits.
Yeah, a little bit tricky right now. Bromas up there on the McCree, but for how much longer now? It's going to be hunted down. Zappis inside of the shield as well, so that barrage not really doing anything. Himsy taking down Artir, and NIP with a really impressive push. That High Noon not really going to do too much, but Linkser is coming in with 2 really big kills, and Bromas taking down Himsy. Somehow they're chaining it back in their favor. Dignitas coming out of nowhere. Great flashbang finally, but it might have been too late, Fraggy. There with the Earth Shatter. This is very impressive, and Linkser coming up with even more kills just between the McCree and the Reaper. They managed to bring it back. I did not see that coming.
I gotta say, after that sort of play where Linkser brought that back from the brink, he deserves to spam crouch as much as he wants, and now he has his reward here because he has Death Blossom up. Not only did he bring back from the brink, but if they're not watching this corner, oh my goodness, this could be terrifying because Linkser has that Death Blossom. All right, he goes in. Death Blossom out right now. Does a lot of damage, but it's not quite enough. Gets charged up by Fraggy, and NIP, again, a good start.
Well, Winston Ultimate in those confined spaces, got to be really careful. Bromas coming in. He's got High Noon again. He's got the kill first of all, but more people are coming for him. The whole hog out in that confined space. Bromas just finding more kills, leaping on in and getting some help. I think that must have almost been his kill as well. I think Artir just got the last punch in, but Bromas doing a lot of damage to Himsy. Very, very impressive.
And they were able to recover after losing a person early, although that death from Linkser wasn't quite as bad as it looked. It's one of those things where he did die early, and it was a 65 in favor of NIP, but And the key but here is that he did a lot of damage while dying, so it wasn't a complete waste.
Now the ults for NIP mean they should have a really good shot at winning this. It's 4 versus 2 practically. Artir gonna have his sound barrier up and running. Fraggy down on the low ground here. The ult comes out and he's gonna get a great Earth Shatter in. Now can they follow it up? The charge comes through. Zarya still alive for a moment. He's finally gonna be going down on Toxicin, and now Fraggy trying to live with that shield, but it is not gonna happen. Dignitas, how are they still alive on this point? They had such an ult disadvantage, but they're still staying alive.
Lynx are still in at the last moment. The kill feed is lit up with his name so many times that he's gonna force Zappas back with the aid of Bromos. And again, they hold on, and here's the scarier thing. Not only are they holding on here, Anders, but they haven't even gotten a third of the point. And this is going to be one of their final pushes. Maybe 2 left. We'll see how this works out. Lynx are ready to drop down. Ray of the Rain Death. Death Blossom in, right to the back line. Taken out by Fraggy, but not before doing a lot of damage once more.
He was one more tick of that damage away from taking down Kynel, and if he had, then that would have been it probably. Numlock going to be jumping in here. He's got the ult ready if he needs it. Going to be controlled for a moment, trying to see if he can get the damage in right now, but has to escape just a little bit here. Right now, Dignitas just trying to hold on. It's only 30 seconds left for NIP.
NIP, they're in rough shape. They do have 3 kills here. They're still fighting this out. Now they're committing. They can't reset at this point. They need to just keep going. And what was that? Oh, Numlock ends up going to the back. Oh, are we going for the back? The juggling is real. Off goes Himsy right off the cliff. Oh my goodness. Dignitas now 15 seconds away. We'll see if NIP can do a last minute stall, but this is looking real good for Dignitas.
Getting that kill so close to the clock running out. You see Fraggy coming in. Sapis with the Tracer. They need this. It's now or never right now. Otherwise, NIP could be shot out of even getting the first point. Excellent defense being put up by Dignitas, surprising everyone right now. Lynx are going to be taking down Fraggy, and his play has just been so good on Numbani. Bromas going to be dropping Suppy, and it's just going from bad to much worse for NIP. They're running out of players and running out of time. Sap is doing his best to stay alive. It is not going to be enough. Toxic with 1, 2, then 3, and that's going to be it. Dignitas holding the first point here.
My goodness. So NIP, and the interesting thing, this is the reverse of what happened with NIP when it gets reunited, where NIP had trouble going for the last point, but they went through the first 2 parts very quickly.
Look at this. Just gonna be pushing them out. This is brilliant.
I got fighting game vibes there, where it just brought him from one side of the screen to the other, took him for a ride, and off went everyone's favorite Roadhog.
I think it'd be significantly more difficult to punch Roadhog off the clip than some of the lighter characters, but Winston just doesn't care.
Primal strength, man. Primal strength. So that was interesting. The map isn't technically not over yet. NIP could come back with a good defense of their own and hold, but that's going to be incredibly difficult. Dignitas has put themselves in a remarkable position here, and we'll see where things go, but I think we're very likely to be seeing a 3rd map.
It really feels like it at this point. That was just very impressive. Dignitas, I think maybe outplaying most people's expectation at this point.
They're outplaying my expectations, because even going into it, where I first saw their lineups, where, again, they changed things up, and they've been changing things up so much compared to how they played in the past. And yet it seems like what they've done here, they've found something that's really working out. And more than anything else, too, Lynxer has been having the day of his life. He's a really good player, but how he showed up today in person here in the E-League studios, it's amazing.
Yeah, between him and Bromas, they just have such a good combo with the DPS. So looking forward to seeing more. He is on the Genji early on. I wonder if that's going to stick. That could be interesting.
Lynxer has one of the best Genjis in the game. You don't always see people play Genji the way things work out now, but would not be surprised if they went in here with a double flanker offense where Lynxer and Bromos are going to be communicating with each other. They will going to be coming in from different angles many a time, and they're just going to be trying to take out a support or something in the back to get things rolling.
Well, it is the winners match here in the group between Dignitas and NIP, and it's already surprising that Dignitas have even made it here, beating FaZe. Now they're going to try and see if they can actually beat NIP2 on this match and push us onto a 3rd one. Lynxer is already in there, and he must be getting quite a few assists to reset his dash as much as he can, trying to see if he could do some more damage, healing up. In the meantime, there's another good one coming through, and a little bit of a block coming out. Numlock, Bromas as well, taking out Fraggy. Is looking good right now for Dignitas. Artir helping out a little bit, but look at all these resets. He already had the Dragon Blade out, and he's slicing them down. That ult from Sapis will not even matter Well, that is decisive.
That was so much damage coming out from Linkser. Really, I think the only play from NIP there would have been for him to either hit him with the hook early on. Didn't happen. Unbelievable stuff coming up from Dignitas, and as a result, we are going to map number 3.
Soon as he gets that one good dash in, then he's suddenly going to be reset again and again and again. Soon as the kill starts rolling in, he can just keep doing it. And he got the Dragon Blade in like 15 seconds.
When a Genji gets a Dragon Blade on a first fight, that is testament alone to just how much work he is doing. And whether you look at this series, the series we just watched, it's been a really good day for Linkser. And I cannot overstate that enough because it has been impressive. Mei play, Genji play, Reaper heroics in the last part. Just can't praise him enough.
Really, really good team fight starting out. And they needed that one fight, Dignitas. They had set themselves up nicely in that sense. So, map 3, very, very interesting. And I'm wondering if NIP have anything they could sort of pull out, any ace up the sleeve or anything that they could have maybe saved here when they're put under pressure.
One of the weaknesses for NIP, especially as they run this composition, they've invested a lot of practice time in this composition. NIP is not the most agile team in terms of changing things up. They just aren't. And even though they've gotten better with this composition, have been a little bit more well-rounded over time, when their main game plan fails, it's hard for them to actually reverse course.
Play of the match coming out here. Ana and, yeah, I mean, some really good heals, and that Bionade also. Some of the angles that we don't always get to see here, but that's incredibly impressive.
It's good stuff. There's no other way of putting it, and Drakeus definitely amps himself a game. And Drakeus actually is a player, too, where he's played much better today than I remember in the past. I remember looking at Dignitas when they have been in their slump, because for those who don't know, just history-wise, Dignitas used to be under the banner of Creation, and they were really, really good for a long time. They had tournament victories. They were one of the top 3 teams in EU by anyone's margin, and they've fallen off a lot as of late, and yet here they are, here in Atlanta, and they are playing back up to their former glory, and it's been great to see.
Very impressed. There's a little bit of cooldown here between the second and third map, going to give everyone a chance. You see not too much communication going on NIP, just everyone sort of focusing on their own game. And seeing things as everyone's sort of calmly waiting for it to get underway. Yeah, it's interesting to see how players react in between. But just a couple of highlights coming up. And yeah, I think Romas McCree here was also quite good on this map.
I'll never get tired of watching this play here, where just boop to boop, Numlock sending him off. Final play of the game here by Ana. Good Bionade to set things up. And Dignitas, a lot of things working for them here today. And NIP, though, is still 1-1. They still have a chance to take map number 3, and we'll just have to see how things go.
Yeah, Bromus was playing the McCree. What do you think about him on that role? Is he living up to the hype?
Bromos on McCree, it's really been mixed. Even today, he's had good moments and bad moments. I still, to this day, don't think he is anywhere near as explosive on McCree as R-Tier used to be, because you think back to what we saw from IDDQB yesterday. That is the level of McCree that R-Tier is. And Bromos, he's had solid contribution today, but none of the, oh my goodness, who are you and how are you so good at this character? So for Bromos, he hasn't been costing his team games, but he hasn't been full hero status either.
All right. I mean, so that's an interesting thing to think about even going forward, because obviously Atir is playing the Lucio now. So that's a big role switch up from being, really, renowned and hardcore DPS, and then into playing, the ultimate support hero. The
key thing for R-Tier is multi-talented. He's had to flex a lot to sort of fit changes on this Dignitas team. As many people know, there was a point where I just remember casting games and you'd see R-Tier where he'd be on McCree, he'd spam hello all the time, the finger snap, and he was great. He was just a joy to watch. He played McCree, rain, sleet, or shine, and then Dignitas, they sort of, when this meta happened, when 76 got nerfed and Bromos had the swap, that's where R-Tier, then he went to Zarya, and was a really good Zarya. And then I guess it's one of those things where he thought maybe we just need a little bit extra on Lucio, so him and Toxicant swapped off, and now he's on Lucio. So it's been a journey for R-Tier, but he's been great regardless of what he plays. And of course, Lucio doesn't get as much love as some of the other heroes, but not a player to underestimate.
You have to assume that in the game of Overwatch that your sort of real estate as a player, like how much market value you have, is going to be tied to how flexible you are. I mean, it's possible that you could be just sort of one-trick pony. You could only do one thing, but then you really have to do that to sort of top 1% of the world. You have to be the best of that.
Well, arguably, we have seen one-trick ponies to some extent in the past. You look at the Widowmaker meta, where you had players that sort of made their name off of being on Widow. Then Widow gets nerfed; she's not quite as good anymore, and those players fall off when they try and swap. So, definitely a thing. Definitely good to be flexible and know that you'll have power no matter what. But going to our third map now, Eichenwald, it's interesting because it's a newer map. Teams aren't quite as experienced on it, and I feel like it adds to more variability.
Definitely does. I'm really enjoying this map. I feel like we're just learning new things every time we see it, little tricks and also new ways, especially breaking through on that final point. So very interesting and also beautiful looking. Eichenwald.
Eichenwald. The Eichenwald map, where I'm sure I am not pronouncing it right. It's going to be the eternal struggle for me, but
I wouldn't worry about it.
The cool thing about the map is that more than anything else, there's a lot of cool ways for the defense to set up. There's nooks and crannies everywhere. There's elevation. It really makes both the offense and defense think about what the other is going to throw at each other. It's great. If the only thing that's a little bit rough is I think the defenders might have too much of advantage in the last point because those 2 choke points are really rough. But it also adds to the intrigue of the last push, so it might not even be bad.
We're going to see Mei versus Mei for just a short second. Sap is trolling us with maybe picking a Bastion. Always sad when that doesn't happen. But yeah, I think Mei's the most fun character for me to watch. So I really look forward to that. Just some good ice walls in here. Maybe some cool tricks coming out. NIP out the gates, and they are on the offensive. They got to cap this first point to unlock the payload and then move on and try and see if they can bring it all the way home. There's a third map here. So whoever wins is going to be going straight through, and the loser is going to be playing another game.
So Epis right now walling off the right side, was afraid of potential threats there, and NIP rolling right in, looking for the first pickup. Promos though, returning fire. Fraggy gonna be first to fall. It's back and forth though, 5v5 right now, and a bit chaotic as a lot of people piling into this room.
Some good icicles coming out right now. Sap is looking to get the shot in there, but oh, Ice Wall coming up once again. He's getting a chance to heal right now. More Ice Walls in this confined space. It's changing the architecture on the map on the fly, but it looks like NIP are getting the better kills in right now, and even Blizzard now coming up for Sap. Is he going to be tempted into using it? Still holding on to it, and for good reason. His team is cleaning up right now, and NIP, that's a really good time to get this payload unlocked.
I feel like Dignitas got a little bit over aggro there, just trying to run into that room. NIP does a good job. They backed off, took their time in the freezer, as it were, and they were able to get the pickoffs they needed and brought forward. So Dignitas, perhaps a bit of a mistake there, but we'll see how things go going forward. This is where the defense has a huge verticality advantage.
Did Mafu just wave to Toxican? I think
so.
He did. That's good. I like it.
Well, Linkser now on the Reaper is switching off. No more Mei walls for the defense. You can play Mei really well on this defensive end, so this is more of a preference choice coming out from Linkser, and see what his Reaper can do here once more.
But he doesn't have the ult up, and, well, he practically got hooked then, but even if he didn't, that means that position is sort of been discovered for a moment, so he's not going to be doing any kind of sneaky play by crouching up there or anything like that. But he will be nano boosted in, and without the ult, just trying to see if he could build it quick. He's up to 60%. It's not too bad of a job right now. Looking for more, and Linkser and Bromas once again doing a really good job on the DPS right now, shutting down NIP, but they do retain a ridiculous ult advantage right now. They almost have 6 CP. How could they not win this? Tell me they're going to win this.
They are almost certainly going to win this. The only way would be if Linkser somehow got ultimate off 2 shots and killed people before, but they're going to open up the sound barrier here in just a month. They're charging right in. They're breaking it down. NIP rushing right in to Dignitas to start things out. They get the first kill. Numlock. Icicles coming in. 2 kills here for NIP, and that's about what to expect in this situation.
Linkser did build the ultimate, but not before 2 or 3 of his teammates had gone down, and then he had the common sense to not use it, because even if he got 1 kill with it, probably would not have been worth it. So he holds on to it, and, well, now they're going to have a chance to defend the next point. NIP still have 2 of their ultimates up, so they also showed some restraint here. This
next part can be a little bit tricky for Reaper. It's pretty wide open. A lot of his flanks are easy to catch. Linkser is going to be trying to come around from the back here to go for this, but they know where he's at. So for Linkser, getting a perfect Death Blossom here going to be rough. He's going to go for it anyway. So the Graviton catches him in midstream. Here comes NIP at the fall through. Mafu setting his team up there beautifully.
I'd say that definitely did not work.
No.
Nowhere near as well as they had expected. And now, I mean, we've talked about this a couple of times before. Well, at first, when you bust through this gate, you get a chance to sort of go through, and then when you're on the other side, a gate goes down again behind you. So if you miss the opportunity, if you get reset right on the other side, you're going to make your own life so much more difficult. It's much better if you can sort of make this large stretch in one go.
Exactly. This is the big sprint here for the offense because now they're able to go in through the gate. They're not going to get caught at the choke point. However far they get this year might be how far the payload goes for the rest of the game. So NIP needs everything to go perfectly here. We'll see if Zappis can change the weather here in just a moment with a good blizzard.
But they have 3 ultimates up on NIP in any second here. This could be really big for them. They could definitely have it go really well. Zappis just an edge, but he puts the blizzard in. Oh, and he's going to execute Linksa just using that gap. Beautiful play here. Zappis very cerebral right now, and he's getting some good shots in. Another ice wall here to try and make sure they can't fall back so easily. Are we going to see a charge? No, it's going to be the Earth Shatter coming up from Fraggy and swinging that hammer, forcing them back into the spawn if he can. They're doing a lot of damage to him, but he's still staying alive. Some great heals coming out from Anna in the back line. NIP, they're so close, but Dignitas, they're getting the respawns in right now, and they're building some great ultimates. Bromas went down with his ultimate, and that's going to be a big deal.
It is a big deal, and the unfortunate thing here now for NIP is that for them to get back to where they were, it is going to be rough. You look at Dignitas, they do have the Death Blossom, they have the Blizzard, and they have the May that's going to make engaging through this gate so ridiculously hard. I actually don't like what NIP there did towards the end. I think they got a little bit too over aggro running in the respawns. The key to this last point is keeping all 6 people alive. Once you lose one person, it quickly snowballs against you, and here we go. Let's watch this May play here as NIP just tries to get through one of these 2 doors.
Links are illustrating perfectly the problem, and the Reaper ult is also massive. It's Toxicin getting a couple of kills there, Numluck helping out, but you got to expect that Reaper did a lot of damage with the Death Blossom. And now, I'm not saying they're making the opposite mistake, but they got to be careful they don't make what the same mistake that NIP did and push too far here. It's better to get back behind the choke here.
It really is, and the key thing here is too is that you don't want to give up the advantage where you get picked and then you have to back out. You want to make this choke as painful to go through as possible. NIP, they do have an ult advantage, but it's hard to actually go there. Oh my goodness. Wall on wall, blue on red, as Linkser just sits in here. Stream of ice going forward. Sunbear comes out here from the defense of the Russian, but NIP deal with this pretty well. However, they are starting to get poked down. Bromas takes out Mafu. Links are moving in, and the offense looking like they are going to get stopped here once more.
A literal ice wall sandwich. I love it. Links are going to be pushing forward once again. He's got the ice wall. If they try and push through now, it is not going to work. And he actually puts it up, in my opinion, just a little bit too soon. I wish he would let one person through and then have the others in the back line. But still, it's running valuable time off of NIP's clock. They are down to 1 minute and 40 seconds, and Links are in the back line 3 seconds away. There's the Blizzard coming out. He's not even going to wait. And actually, that's a big problem.
He goes right in. He hasn't really gotten what he's looking for here. Sound buried people holding on, but while this is happening, Bromas is able to take out Fraggy. It's 5v5 right now, both teams in a bit of a brawl. Numb locked in, and here comes Linkser now, uncontested, starting to land those headshots with the right click, and it's working out, just icicle fire after icicle fire.
This Linkser May is just incredibly impressive. I actually thought that Blizzard was very bad. It looked like he maybe just slowed a couple of people down, but didn't do too much. But then the icicle hits just completely wrecking NIP. We talked about this. The damage is equivalent to that of McCree. It's just harder to hit. But he's doing a very fine job. And now, once again, we reset here. NIP in a lot of trouble.
Again, like we said when they first got in the attack, how far they got the payload might be how far it goes, and it's looking like this case. Bromas moving in, Death Blossom takes out Mafu, immediately punished, so NIP rolling in, but again, it's just so hard to get through here with all their people. They will get a few extra kills, and I would almost suggest something radical here where they're moving forward with 4. I almost wonder if they should wait for their respawns to come in before bringing this forward, because they're probably not going to get to the very end off of this, and Dignitas is coming in with all 6 and a Graviton, so we'll see how this works. But Graviton now coming in for Toxin, pulls in at least 3. Himsy, counter Whole Hog in the way while on the Graviton. Bromas moves in, takes out Himsy, and Dignitas just rolling right over NIP.
Should have said that a lot louder and a little bit earlier, CP. Maybe they would have heard it, because I think you're right, just pushing in with 4 like that. I love the idea of the Whole Hog to try and keep people back so they can't capitalize on the Graviton, but it wasn't enough here. Bromas doing a lot of damage. Shotguns are out, fighting Mafu. He will go down, but time has run out, and NIP just don't have the presence here. Dignitas gonna hold it at the end. NIP giving it their all, and it wasn't enough.
The one good thing for NIP, though, is that their big push that they had, where right after they got second, they went in, they won the next fight, they almost got right to the end. That is still key to this map, and again, I think it's one of those things where it really will determine who wins this map a lot of the time right now, because full captures on Eichenwald are rare, but just getting as much distance as possible when the gate is open, when you don't have to worry about getting stuck in those 2 corridors, it's a really big deal.
Curious to see. It's not always, I suppose, there doesn't have to be a strong correlation between how good you are on defense and how good you are on offense on the same map. I mean, there must be teams that are that sort of are better at playing one side than the other. But I love to learn something about Dignitas on this one. They've definitely impressed me already today.
Dignitas have done really well today, but this could be a challenge, because I think with how far NIP got that on that push, I think the key here for Dignitas is that, and I don't say you necessarily throw a fight that's going to take second, but I feel like part of the strategy for them has to be you want to take second and then have a lot of ammo left in your tank going in. You want to have at least some ults that you can chain just to try and match the mad dash that NIP had that admittedly got the payload pretty far.
They most certainly did. The final fight here that we're seeing, yeah, I mean, one of the problems that Dignitas has when they were on the offensive side playing on Watchpoint Gibraltar was the fact that once we got to the end, and NIP really got that. I think even at the end, NIP were actually on a 4-2 configuration where they had, 4 tanks, 2 supports, and that was very hard for Dignitas to break through. I feel like if that happens, especially on the final stage here, who knows? Ooh.
That is a nice sword. That is fiery. Is that Ashbringer's cousin?
I mean, it looks like someone should pick that up and fight with it.
Maybe it's a new. Maybe Sombra uses a flaming sword. You never know.
Are you starting memes and conspiracies already, CP?
I have done way worse when it comes to that.
All right. Well, Dignitas, they are going to be fighting to see if they can maybe get this first point already. Farah going to be coming out, and look at the rockets being connected with here. Toxican doing a good job, but they have lost Arceus in the meantime, and look at that, he's just following it up. Numlock going to be going down, and eventually Sap is hitting some great shots with the Mei, but there's a lot of damage being done early on with the rockets.
The defense here is in trouble. So many people have died on the defense that the offense is going to be respawning right in. Bromos has no one on here that's really on him. He doesn't have to worry about the Mei. One Icicle can't end him, but he takes out Zappas, moves forward, runs into Fraggy's hammer. Man, we've seen that a lot today.
That's just very unfortunate, but also slightly hilarious. It's going to be Drakeas in the background here looking for it. A good sleep does come in, and you can see him trying to heal the Winston as much as he can. Lynx getting a kill on Canal, and now Toxican still raining down a lot of damage here. Doesn't really seem to ever touch the ground. He's hunting for that Roadhog, and Dignitas, when can they cap this point? They've got it halfway there.
This is really weird where Dignitas, they feel like they should have been a follow-up sooner. Bromos still going crazy in the backline, takes out 2. And this is still taking a while, though, for Dignitas. They're finally going to get this. They'll have some good momentum ult-wise. Toxican still uncontested, but it took them longer than they would have liked, where, again, they're going to need every ounce of time, likely, if they want to beat how far NIP got this.
I like the fact that the Farah is this far up already, sort of putting some pressure on, making sure that NIP can't easily set up on the high ground or anything here. They sort of have to be a little bit worried, so I think that's pretty smart play. Has to be careful himself that he does not get hooked. And speaking of which, Himsy!
Psychic Anders just called that there as Himsy brought Toxican down. That's unfortunate because Dignitas have a lot of ults in their bank. They were really set up, and this gives NIP a chance to go for a 65, maybe force some of those ults out. We'll see how things go.
K is doing a lot of healing in the background here. Now Lynx are coming in, ult is out as well, followed up with the Farah ultimate from quite far range. It does a lot of damage, and they do get a couple of kills in here. We'll see if Dignitas can continue. Himsy's still alive there, and he's gonna go and look for another hook, not quite connecting.
Not quite, and this is where Himsy is so deadly. When a fight is wrapping up, where he can just get hook after hook, where they're not gonna be able to get enough damage to really kill him, that's where NIP really solidifies things. And look at this, Dignitas had an ult advantage. That ult advantage is gone. They wasted a lot of the ults, didn't get a whole lot in return. And going to the next fight, Mafu has the tools of the trade here, could have a really big graviton to set things up and wipe Dignitas once more.
And now, sadly for the Dignitas team, they've actually been pushed back to some of these big choke points here again. Now they're going to be coming through. Sound barrier active. Also the graviton surges through Himsy. No one even worrying about him right now. He's just in the backline doing the damage, the hook as well, and punching him. Gonna have to be the ult coming out. He's stuck. Oh no, being pushed up against the wall. That's just not good.
Bromos, though, it does come out to clean up at the end. Has the pulse bomb to save his buddy in Winston. almost right out of the lore. And this is Dignitas turning this fight back around after what was a really rough start from that Graviton on Mafu.
My ultimate is charged.
It looked like Numlark was getting focused all the way, but actually maybe they put too much focus on him because it seemed like Dignitas cleaned up a lot in the background while that was happening. Links are up here as well, ready to take the fight, helped out by Bromas to take down Sappers, and now Wraith form in. Is he going to try and pop the ultimate? It's close range, and he will do it. A lot of damage coming through, but not enough to get the kill, and he's going to be hooked. Himsy picking up 2 big shots there.
NIP bring this right back after a situation where it looked like Dignitas had the momentum. They're getting the kills they need to get as they're rotating around the payload, and it's looking like Dignitas, they're going to have to back out once more, and they're just making Artier wait here. And Artier says, no, you can't kill me, I quit. Jumps right off to get the reset.
All right then. So going into this next fight, we will have 2 and almost a 3rd one coming up for NIP, whereas Dignitas, if this fight is, they almost have to wait a little bit. They have 2 minutes. I feel like they need a couple of big ults here to try and win this.
They do, and I think the thing that's a little bit more troubling meta-wise, that'd be great if they could win this fight and still have a few ults in reserve, but they're pretty drained. They're going to need to just use everything they have to grab this, and that's a problem when you consider going after point number 3, so I suppose we'll see how things work. Dignitas though is trying to move forward. Kind of a weird engage right now. Lucio on the back. He's looking for moves into the pit. Doesn't quite get it, but I like the idea. Toxicant. Graviton Surge is built. Graviton going to come in. Pulls in 2. Sets up Linkser for the double kill. And Dignitas, they are going to be opening this gate.
They just made that work, and you talked about sort of from a metagame point of view how it'd be better if they could preserve some ultimates. Well, they did. They have Linkser and Bromas, so the 2 DPS players here just still with their ultimates intact, and they're going to try and push forward. Mafu does have the defensive Graviton Surge, and that could be a really big thing for NIP right now to hold on.
Particularly in this area where there's not exactly a whole lot of room to spread out. One of the best ways to deal in this area is just positioning in a way where she can't land it. Well, good luck doing that on this last point. It is so incredibly difficult. So Mafu's ult of key thing here. Links are right to the back line. Death Blossom out. Takes down Zuppy. Oh no! The knockback sends him deeper into the enemy team. Gets him the extra kill. That is not exactly what NIP was looking for.
Absolutely impressive, and now Saria, the particle cannon, doing so much damage. Toxicin just wrecking them in the back line, and now the offensive Graviton Surge going to be coming out, holding them back. They're all grouped up, and Himsy 1 shot away from death, trying to heal in the back line, actually being healed quite a bit. The nano boost doesn't really help that much, but on Numlock it may well, that hammer being swung. Oh, but the charge not connecting. He's going to go down instead. Mafu on the D.Va there now, just trying to buy even more time, and this is where Dignitas get that really, really unfortunate reset.
I always love when 2 Reinhardts charge into each other. Even better when one has a nano boost, because tell you what, if you have nano boost at that point, you're not doing anything when you're on the ground, and that sort of shows how hard it is to get the payload as far as NIP got it here on this map. Only a minute 40 remaining here for Dignitas, and there's no guarantees that they even get through this front area. They're going to have a good sound barrier, Earth Shatter setup that lets them get through without losing anyone. If they lose even 2 or 3 people, it might be GG. So they're moving in. Sound barrier on the way. Dignitas gets through the choke point. They take down Himsy, and this is their best opportunity.
Gonna try and do it. Sappers back in it here. Pulse bomb out. Didn't really hit anybody at all, but Mafu doing a great job. He's finally gone down. I'm surprised no one has swapped to the Mei here on NIP. They're just sticking with their composition right now, and it is working. They're getting the kills in. Artier going to be going down last to Suppy, and now they're going to go on the aggressive here. Got to be careful, NIP. That might be just a little bit too much. Still have a minute left right now. They're holding on to the D.Va.
And the interesting thing, there was a D.Va explosion that killed everyone, or not everyone, but 2 people on Dignitas as they rolled in. There's not a whole lot of cover on this map, so it was a great ultimate coming out by Mafu to set things up. Fraggy swinging the hammer right at the choke point, takes down Durkheus. 3 kills here from NIP, and with only 42 seconds left, Dignitas is down to their last attempt.
Well, that last attempt, though, is going to be a beastly one. They have 5 ultimates, and with just a little bit of damage, Artier could build that last 50% fairly quickly. NIP, they are going to have 5 of their own. In fact, Mafu not that far away either. So we could be seeing almost all 6 ults in the span of the next, 40 seconds or something if it goes into overtime. Could be exciting.
And here's the key for Dignitas. They need to not lose anyone here, but the early Earth Shatter coming in from Fraggy sets up Zappis for the double. Dignitas is kneecapped early on in this fight. 4 kills for NIP, 4-0. It needed to go the other way if Dignitas was to take this, Anders.
What a beautiful pulse bomb. That's just one way of winning a map right there. NIP gonna make their way through 2-1 over Dignitas, taking it on Eichenwald as the last one. Very, very impressive.
NIP able to hold it on there, and it's, again, you take a look at that map, and I'm just going to go back to NIP's first attack. There's so much importance to what you do after taking second to bring the payload down. You need to have that be very successful, because even though they didn't complete it out, it was well beyond Dignitas' reach in this game, and in the end, it led to NIP's victory.
I'm almost at a point where I feel like you shouldn't try and get the last point until you've built the ultimates to go through. Like, you almost have to think like a step ahead. But obviously, if you're out of time, you don't have that luxury. You sort of just have to do it just to get the extra time back there. But that's both teams running into the same problem, and there was like, what, 6 meters that separated them, so practically got at the same distance there. But the first push for NIP